Really? I gotta do this again? I gotta talk about another episode of Dora the Explorer? I have a bachelor's degree in history, and I'm spending my time doing this? So, in case any of you don't know, a while back I made a video of me talking about what was, in my opinion, the most insane episode of Dora the Explorer called Sticky Tape. My video on that episode has views, so I figure, what the heck. I might as well talk about another episode of Dora the Explorer that might be just as insane as Sticky Tape. Now, during my binging of the first season, yes, I did binge the entire season, leave me alone, I couldn't find any episodes that were good enough to talk about because, with the exception of Sticky Tape, most of the other episodes are pretty much the same and I couldn't milk any good jokes out of it. However, I did find one episode. Now, thankfully, this episode is not as insane as Sticky Tape was, but I am choosing to talk about this one because there's one good moment in it. There's one good moment in this episode, and it comes at the ending. And rather than telling you what this good moment is, I figure might as well talk about what this episode is about. Now, just like last time, I can't show you clips from the episode because, one, I don't have editing software, and Paramount sucks when it comes to copyright. So, once again, recording this off my phone, gotta sit and look at me, John Lennon's aborted fetus, talk about an old episode of Dora the Explorer. What is my life? Now, this episode is called El Coquí. Now, it starts off with Dora and Boots looking at one of those farm books, like, one of those picture books that have, like, the buttons on the side where you press a button and it makes the farm animal sound like, meow. Well, they turn to one page and it has a little picture of a frog. So they press the button and it goes, Coquí, Coquí. And it turns out that is the coquí frog. And I actually decided to Google it, and yes, this is actually a real species of tree frog that live in Central and South America. So give the episode some credit for doing at least some research. And wouldn't you know it, a coquí frog just so happens to hop right next to Dora and Boots, and they say, hey, it's a coquí, why don't you sing a song? Because he's got a little guitar on his side. So the coquí tries to sing, and it sounds like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Coquí, coquí, vaccines are going to give your kids autism. It turns out that the coquí frog lives on a certain island in the middle of the ocean, and if it leaves that island, then it loses its voice and it can't sing anymore. So Dora and Boots only figure, might as well bring Coquí back to his home island so he doesn't sound like RFK Jr. Coquí, Coquí, I swam in sewage because it makes me healthier. So Dora and Boots get the map out and he does the I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map song. And it turns out the way to get to Coquí's Island is that you got to go through something called the Echo Bush, and I will get to that monstrosity in just a second, through the middle of the ocean, and then you will eventually find Coquí's Island. So Dora and Boots or Coquí are going down the road. Come on, Dominoes, everybody, let's go. Coquí, Coquí, I ate an entire whale. And Swiper the Fox shows up. They do the swiping, no swiping. And Swiper eventually pisses off. And we finally get to the Echo Bush. And let me tell you, this thing actually is kind of terrifying. Why? Imagine, if you will, a regular bush, but it has these big, bulging eyes and a squiggly pedo smile. And on top of that, it's got a booming, echoey voice that goes, I'm the Echo Bush. Just to let you know that that thing came from hell. Now, of course, it's called the Echo Bush because it repeats everything you say back, and it's very small. You could just easily go around it. But Dora has a better idea. Let's just make the Echo Bush say, ah, just to give the kids more nightmares, and they can hop through its mouth and just go right through it. Again, it's not that big. This is just like the Slippery Rock in Sticky Tape. Dora does not understand the concept of just going around something so small, and especially something that is so nightmare-inducing. I hope my crummy little drawing that I'm showing gives you a description of what this thing's like. So, of course, they make the Echo Bush say, ah! And I have more nightmares tonight. They hop through its mouth, they go down the road. Come on, Dominoes, everybody, let's go. Coquí, Coquí, I left a dead bear in the park. And they finally get to the beach, or the ocean in this case, and it turns out that their toucan friend that I forget his name at the moment, happens to have a boat, but he says that he charges tickets to get on. So they find this little ticket machine, and it says it costs 3 red coins with 5 yellow dots on it. At least it's better than cryptocurrency. They get their tickets, they hop on the boat, and they're sailing through a very foggy ocean, and a pink cruise ship is just about to hit them. So Dora asks the audience to say, "Privado, privado," so they don't hit this boat. And eventually they finally make it to Koki's island, but the boat can't go to the island because there's a bunch of rocks on it. But Koki, being a frog, hops on the rocks to get to the island, and Dora Boots, of course, do likewise. So they finally get to the island, and now Koki finally has a chance to sing, and he no longer sounds like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Now here's where we get to the one good moment, because so far it's just been another mediocre episode of Dora the Explorer, with the exception of my nightmares tonight. But Koki finally sings, and the song he sings is the one saving grace of the episode. Now, lyrically wise, this is not a good song because the only lyrics are just the words Koki over and over and over again. But what makes up for it is the melody. The melody is really soothing. It's really nice. It actually kind of put a smile on my face. I was literally humming along to this tune. And then Koki's family pops out. They sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks for some reason. And it actually blends well with the tune that they're singing. Dora and Boots sing along, and I'll admit it, even I was singing along to the repetitive Koki lyrics because, again, the tune itself is that catchy. So, that's it. That is the one episode of Dora the Explorer that has one saving grace in it. And you know what? I have an idea. Nate, if you're watching this, I have an idea. Just to prove my point of how good this song is, I'm going to put this on stream requests for you to listen to. Now again, probably have to put up the copyright banner because Paramount sucks when it comes to copyright. But do take a listen to the Koki song because again, it's actually a really good song. And thankfully, it is not sticky tape. And thank gosh for that. So anyways, I'm done blabbering. I'm going to go ahead and go get my life back. So that's it. Bye.